Speed is the number one factor of leverage you can use in your business. And if you want to get ahead of 99% of other OnlyFans agencies, how fast you move is extremely important. Also, it's very important to have good models. And when I talk about speed, most people have this limited knowledge about it. They think it's just like how fast can I move and how fast I'm doing things. But I'll try to expand your knowledge about speed. First of all, speed quite literally kills, right? The only reason a small bullet is so deadly is because of how fast it moves. Speed also quite literally defies gravity, right? The only reason an airplane can fly and not fall down is because of its speed. And so speed plays a huge factor in many things, but why is this important? So I believe it's always the thing of how can you take what you're doing right now and make it faster? Now, here's an example. In my mentorship, I've had conversations with people where they just started OFM 6 months ago. They have no prior experience in the industry. They don't have any business experience, really. This is their first business. And in a span of 6 months, they're making 40K in profit. In just 6 months, right? That's very impressive. How do they do that? Because I didn't do that. I didn't have the chance to do that and to make money that fast. Over 3 years ago when I was starting, I started everything from scratch, new model from scratch, build out the socials, everything, figure everything out. But how did they do this? How do they make money so fast? I believe the formula to OFM is very simple, very, very simple, two-step plan, okay? It's much easier and quicker to scale a model that already has an established brand and she's making good money and she already knows how to create content and she's already doing OnlyFans than it is to build the system from the ground up, right? She doesn't have any social media presence. You gotta start her Instagram. You gotta set up the OnlyFans, everything from scratch. And so how do these people do it? It's very simple. The people I had conversations with, they usually have a small personal brand Instagram. So I've talked with people that had 500 followers and I've talked with people that have 5,000 followers. And what they do is they outreached to big and existing models already doing OnlyFans. And some of these models had 400 to 600K followers already. And you might think when you see those models, you're like, they definitely have an agency. But you would be surprised how many models even have 1 million+ followers, they don't have an agency. Sometimes it's their boyfriend helping them out. Sometimes it's a friend, family members, a sister, whatever. There are a lot of models in desperate need of help, of an agency, and you can offer that to them, okay? Now, what they did was they just hooked onto their systems. They outreached the models having 400, 600K followers, and they hooked onto their systems. So they took care of their chatting and annoying backend work. They provided more stable and consistent systems to the model, right? And this included giving them tips on how to create more content, staying more consistent, because girls, when they run the page themselves, they very rarely are consistent on the IG, right? So you give them tips, hey, we're gonna do 1 to 2 videos a day consistently. We're gonna do 5 trial reels. We're gonna scale to more accounts. We're gonna do chatting, this, that. You handle their entire operation. And that's all. They just did those 2 tasks to an already existing model, and they make much more than somebody who's fully starting from scratch, right? So speed is the name of the game. So again, it's how can you take what you're already doing and make it faster? Right now, chances are if you're starting from scratch, you have a model and you got to teach her, hey, how to create content, how to do this, that, every single thing. And it's going to take her a year to fully master everything, even more. Or you can just fully cut that out and outreach and sign models that already have a huge following, already are proven to work, they're consistent, they create good content, they want to work, they want to grow. But this is the problem, right? It's hard to sign these bigger models, so I'm going to tell you how. But the beauty is when you sign bigger and bigger models, what you can do is you can outreach to even bigger and better models from the model's personal Instagram account. I'm going to talk about this a bit more in depth in a second. And then what happens is you just keep signing better and better models, attaching your systems to them and making more money, right? So what happens is you have the systems, like a USB cable, you're just plugging into multiple models, the same system, and it works. Now, I first want to cover this. You should always be ready to answer the following question. What problem are you currently solving right now, right? Where are you? What is your obstacle? Where are you trying to get to? And chances are it's one of these three. You either need a better model, you're struggling with your model, she isn't creating content, she isn't good enough, blah, 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 blah. Second is you need more traffic, everybody needs more traffic, or you need more and better chatters. Pretty much every single agency, if you were to ask them, they are dealing with one of these three, if not all three. Now, the beauty of signing new models that already have existing Instagrams, OnlyFans, everything, when you sign these models, they've already proven they can get traffic. They're already getting traffic. They have like 500K followers, right? So they know how to create content. You just attach some systems to make them create more and better content. And I know agencies that only do chatting. So you sign these huge models, they already do everything themselves, they work great, and you just handle the chatting. There are a lot of ways to run a successful OnlyFans agency. So you can only do the chatting. I've just recently had 2 coaching clients from Colombia where they were basically just chatting. And so I helped them get more traffic, build traffic systems because you always need more traffic, but they were already making good money just being chatters. So you can, and they had a model that had like 500K followers. They still have it, right? So you can be a great agency by just chatting, or you help them get more traffic, but you always need a better model. So now, how do you sign these good models, big models, great models? 3 ways. First, and the best way, outreaching from the model's account. Let me give you an example. If Sophie Rain outreaches to any girl in this world, doesn't matter if she has an agency or not, she's gonna want to work with her. Very simple. They're making 40 plus million a year. She has millions of followers. Everybody knows her. If she was to outreach to any model, doesn't matter the outreach message. It can be the worst outreach message in the world. You're going to want to work with her. That's the best thing to do. And the biggest agencies that I know always do this. So when I talk to them and when I ask them, hey, right, you're making $1 million a month, you have X number of models, how do you get more new and better models? They always tell me, I just outreach from the biggest follower account, so the account that has the most followers from their model, they outreach from that one. Very simple. Now, the second best way to get more models with outreach is outreaching from your personal account. This is the example that most people that I talk to do this and this is people that are just starting out usually. And this is the example I gave earlier. So your personal account, you can have 500 followers. I've talked with people that have 500 followers. They have 5,000 followers. You outreach from the personal account. You have some pictures, you're traveling, blah, blah. You know all that stuff like Dubai. You take the picture on the famous bridge in a rental, right? And you outreach from your personal account. You say, I can help you, blah, 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 outreach message. And you outreach from the personal account, sign those models. And the third way, the worst in my opinion, is outreaching from an agency account. Now, unless you're Untouched Agency, which you're not, by the way, outreaching, because Untouched Agency, everybody knows about them. If you outreach from an agency account, these models are getting like 100 outreaches a day. Everybody wants to work with them. Everybody is sending them messages. No one cares. So that's the hardest. And everybody knows you can fake results so easily. And the problem with personal accounts, the second best, is you know what the problem is? I can manage Sophie Rain. But let's say my Instagram is Renato and I outreach to a model. She doesn't know that I manage Sophie Rain unless I make it very clear on my profile. But what just happened? We added one extra step. So instead of her knowing immediately I manage Sophie Rain, now we added one step away from our goal. So we took a step back. Oh, I just added an extra step. Now she has to click to my account. And I'm just a random guy outreaching and she has 100 different outreach requests. So now she has to go to my account, look at my account. They're like, oh yeah, this guy manages Sophie Rain. And then she's, of course, gonna want to work together. But it's unnecessary. Don't add any extra steps. The best thing you can do, outreach from your model's account. Because then, a hot girl in the photo, you have a verified account, you have 500,000 followers. When she goes to your account, right, she sees everything she sees in your name. You're an OnlyFans model. It's very obvious. So that's the number one best thing you can do, outreach from model's account. Now you might be like, hey, I don't have any models. What should I do? Well, for your own sake, I hope you have a personal account so you can outreach from that. If you don't have a personal account, if you don't have a models account, yeah, probably start with the agency, but you're going to work your way up. You can skip steps, but if you have models, you have good follower accounts, outreach from that. It's the single most best thing you can do. Because this is the topic of the video, how to get ahead of 99% of other OnlyFans agencies. The answer is speed. How can I take what I'm already doing and do it better and faster? Right now, you're working with a model. She has no idea how to create content. You're working from scratch. And building Instagrams takes a very long time. You can't do it in a month or two. So what happens is you're building the IG, you're teaching her how to create more and new content, blah, blah, blah. It just takes time. What if we just cut the learning curve? You sign someone that knows how to create good content. She's reliable. She wants to work. She wants to make more money. And you just plug your systems into them. That's a much quicker way to make money. And that's the best way, in my opinion, to do OFM. Just attach your systems to winners. Don't build winners, just get winners. You can build winners, right? That's what I did. Again, not everybody has the same path. I had to go the hard route, but yeah. And now it's a very simple two-step plan. When you sign them, you only have to do two things. First of all, what's really good in your favor is she already knows how to create content, right? That's a great first step. And she's already proven she's consistent. And so what you just do is then you do two things. First is you improve her content. Again, as I said, she probably isn't consistent. She needs help with her systems. You tell her, we're going to upload 5 trial reels a day. We're going to upload 1 to 2 times a day. We're going to grow 2 more alt accounts. We're going to upload there. You don't have to do anything. We're going to use Stick Fusion. We're going to repurpose your viral videos. We're going to upload them there. We're also going to run 1 to 2 videos a day there. We're going to do 5 trial reels. So across 3 accounts, we're going to be uploading 15 trial reels. Across all accounts, we're going to upload 6 times per day for normal reels. You up the input, you be consistent, and you increase the input so she gets more traffic, because everybody needs more traffic. Everybody. There is not a single person that has enough traffic. You always need more. And that's what you do for her on the traffic side. And of course, you make it easier. You tell her how to create better content. You tell her what to improve, and you make life easier. Second part, you handle the chatting. That's it. And again, you can only do one of these things. You can only do the chatting. And so you train chatters. You get a chatting manager. Of course, this depends on how big you are. Most people don't have chatting managers, right? When I talk to people and they have 50 chatters, right? You have to have a chatting manager, an entire team. You handle the chatting, you have the SOPs ready, you onboard the model properly, you onboard the chatters, you train them, you manage them, you make them do their job, you do it great, and that's it. So yeah, very simple way to do OFM. Sign good models, you attach your systems, you make traffic be better, you handle their chatting, and that's it.